For CBSI Services, talking business today in New York City. I have a chance to get together with our friend Ramon Ray, who is the publisher of Smart Hustle Magazine and .com, an entrepreneur, frequent speaker around the country, just ran a great conference, and an author. Ramon, good to see you.
Thanks for having me here, man. It's good to be here and good to share with your community about how they can grow their businesses, so thank you.
Absolutely. And Ramon, first I want to congratulate you on a terrific conference you ran last month. You had Seth Godin as a key speaker. Tell us a little bit about the highlights of your conference.
Absolutely. It's a conference where we try to bring together entrepreneurs in New York City and around the country, or the world for that matter, with a few hundred people. And really, Seth Godin talked about what he does best: narrow. Focus on the niche target market, and then go big if you want. We had Claude Silver, who's the chief heart officer of VaynerMedia, Gary Vayner's company, and she really just, as I say, dropped the stage, or crushed the stage, dropped the mic as it were, and really helped us understand the humanity of leadership and human-to-human connections and empathy. And so other speakers like that were just so good, really talking about technology. Salesforce was there, Zoho was there, and many others, just how you can really leverage the power of technology and marketing to scale and grow a business.
Very good. Now, you spent a lot of time putting that together, and came off very nicely. At great speakers, great social media coverage of the event. What were some of the aspects of just putting that together for you?
Boy, no sleep. But really, I think an event, Ken, is about 3 or 4 main things. I think one, how are you going to get butts in seats or people to come? What's your marketing plan? And that's something that I specialize in, event marketing. So how are you going to get that done? That's one. I think point 2, and I can talk about that if you want. We have a short time, but I can talk about event marketing. But point 2 then, who's going to come? Who are the speakers going to be as the draw, as the agenda, which is directly related to, of course, getting people to attend. 3 is the venue, and that's more transactional logistics, but it's important. Where are you going to have it? What are you going to feed people? And I think the other thing, the last thing is, are you going to videotape it? Are you going to photograph it? Things of that nature. But really, the marketing of the event, getting people to come, what's the agenda? Once you get that, everything else puts itself together.
Well, I think the last point you made about videotaping and gaining coverage of an event creates another audience for your event aftermarket and also off-site.
Absolutely.
To be able to hear your speakers and hear your keynote messages. What was a key thing that you might have learned, or the audience might have learned at the event?
Yeah, I mean, I think one thing that was really powerful, I think people just really liked the aspect of Claude Silver, really just impressing on people the aspect of empathy and leadership and caring about people. Very few times, Ken, as you know, do brands shake hands. You know, CBSI and Smart Hustle don't shake hands, don't care about each other. It's Ken and Ramon. Well, no, it's Ken and Ramon, what I mean.
Yeah.
You know, so it's people who do business together. So I think that was one of the biggest things. And I'll just share with your audience a little secret people kind of ding me, critique me for. They wanted more networking. So I've learned from my audience, people are saying, Ramon, we wanted more networking. So I've learned to have more of it. People love to shake hands and talk to each other.
Actually, yeah, I've been reading that at some of the national trade meetings that they're building more time into for networking and small group discussions.
Yes.
This year as a key trend. Now, you speak around the country and are in demand. Tell us a little bit about what are some of the topics that you cover when you talk to audiences around the country.
As you said, sure, Ken, and I'm really honored that I work with very large brands who use me to represent their brands, whether it's AT&T or many other brands like this, to say, Ramon, listen, we're having a conference and event. Can you come and speak and share your experience? But the biggest thing that I'm asked about, Ken, is marketing. I'm not a finance guy. I'm not a strategy guy. I'm not a leadership guy. My thing is marketing. So I think one of the questions I'm often asked are 2 simple questions. Ramon, how do I get more customers? And I like to push it back and say, do you have customers already? Yes. How can you get them to come back to you again and again and again? And I think that's really one of the key things I try to help growing businesses is that, yes, get new customers. But I think the bigger thing is how can you get the customers who've already bought from you? They already like you. They already have voted for you with their dollars. Get them to buy again. And it gets better, Ken. Get them to tell their friends, family, other people about you, because it's one thing Ken telling the lady out there, the guy out there, I'm Ken, buy from me. But if Ramon says, here's Ken, buy from him, that's even better. Ken doesn't have to do anything. I'm his brand ambassador. So.
Well, that's terrific. Certainly at CBSI and our work in the banking field, in the credit card payments field, trying to get that repeat purchase and gaining usage, loyalty, and providing excellent customer service.
So important.
When a customer needs assistance is so important. Now, tell us a little bit about, you have a nice website and a topic called small business technology. You spend a lot of effort on. What are some of the key points that you're working on in small business technology?
Yeah. And thank you for asking about that, Ken. So smallbiztechnology.com, it's really all about, I started it 20 years ago, give or take. And we think of CNET and Engadget, other tech sites like that. Small Biz Technology is about what is the technology that your business needs to be successful and grow. But we don't just stop, of course, at technology. I like to say technology and more. So for example, AI. Everybody's talking about AI, but when other people talk about AI, I think it's more of a buzzword. I try to talk about how does it make sense for your business. People talk about things such as robotics. Robotics is important, but does it help your business? So those are some far out things. But then I like to get very specific, Ken, and talk about mobile technology. 5G's coming in the next, people say 2-3 years, it'll be everywhere.
Maybe next year.
Yeah, or next year. So things like that, how does it impact your business? And I like to say, and more, not just tech, but and more.
Hey, Ramon, we got to ask you, how did you get into this field? How did you get started with it?
I don't know if I can tell you that, Ken. That's a secret, man. No.
What have been, well, let me ask you,
it's not a secret.
What have been some of the steps along your career path that has got you here?
Yeah, my digest version of really who I am, what I am today, and I'm nothing. I have a lot more to go, but some successes that I think I spent a long time at the United Nations, and I just got that job, Ken, because I just wanted to get money out of high school or when I was going into college. Somebody from my church said, Ramon, apply. You can be a secretary there, clerk there. I applied, and over time, some prayer and other things, got the job. And I was there for over 10 years. While I was there, Ken, I didn't know the entrepreneurial bug bit me. And that's when I started one of my first companies. I started was a technology consulting company, doing Microsoft Access work, installing networking cables, kind of a jack of all trades, an expert in none. So Family Computer Consulting Services, which I dissolved. Then I started Small Biz Technology, which is profit generating and running today. Third company I started was an event company. That was the Small Business Conference. And I sold that to another event conference a few years ago. And then today we have Smart Hustle Magazine, which is a print magazine, but we're focused really on the digital part of that magazine and conferences. So that's really what Ramon and company, as it were, are today.
There you go. Well, you have an outstanding moment on your website that you described where you went to the White House. I had my first White House experience this year, actually. And you got a chance to advise the president's staff on a topic. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, for sure. That was epic. My first experience, I interviewed the former president. That was cool in itself, just being face to face with the president. I beat out 300,000 other Americans who applied. But yeah, which
president did you meet?
President Obama.
That's great.
So that was cool. Yeah, video chat. And then at the end of his term as well, the staff said, Ramon, can you come and help us with personal branding? And it was just, as you experienced, it was an honor to just go to the White House. And those who are watching, this is not about politics. It shouldn't be. The White House is the people's house. We're their bosses. Well, ideally, even though I can't go and say, person get out or come in, we're their bosses, we vote. And so it was an honor to go there and just serve and advise the president's staff about personal branding. And the third kind of presidential thing I did, I hung out with Ivanka Trump in India. So I've been with Republicans, Democrats, left and right. I'm here to serve small businesses, and whichever party I can help, it was amazing.
It got to be a tremendous experience. I had a chance to go to the White House with the Army football team, and when they presented the Commander-in-Chief trophy, and what a special place that is to visit. And tell us a little about, you've got a nice article out, advice for young adults. And when some of the points that you start out with are just, I mentioned I do work at West Point, and the qualities they're trying to instill on the cadets there, just what you talk about, attitude, character, learning to ask questions, working hard, being well-read. Those are so important. How did you learn those would be the key points to advise in an article? Yeah,
I think, Ken, just by going through the School of Hard Knocks, as I know you've been through it, I've been through it, and I think my journey, Ken, is as one who feels young inside, even though my wife reminds me, Ramon, you're a middle-aged guy. I think that many young people, when they're first starting out, we don't have the resources, we don't know people, we don't have the money. Listen, as I tell my kids, life is a journey, Ken. And so I think that the three things I say is that, one, attitude is most important. If I come into this room, Ken, I can work as hard as I want with a nasty, bad attitude. We don't click. Ken's like, goodbye, ideally. So attitude's important. That's just how you make the initial connection to someone. Second thing is hard work. You can have a great attitude and smile, but you have to put in the work. You have to put in the hustle. You have to be able to wake up on time, wake up early, stay longer, come earlier, grunt work. Some people call, I don't want to kiss butt. Well, you know what? You can call it what you want. But there's a path of life that we all have to go. So I think that's where the hard work comes in, Ken. And the third thing I would say is this aspect of skill. I don't care if it's a PhD, MBA, or you're just the best person in taking care of these plants. I'm a firm believer that with the right attitude, with hard work, and you have some skill, you will never be poor. In fact, you'll probably end up taking care of your family. Maybe you don't be wealthy. I can't guarantee that. But I can say you'll live well and be able to do what you need to do in life.
Absolutely. Now, Ramon, one of the things that are obviously at CBSI, we're working in the payments field, working with many banks around the country and their small business customers. Any key advice you have in kind of the banking, financial services area?
Absolutely. Two big things I would say to the banks and financial services that are listening. One, how are you different? What can you do to show us, your customers, that you're not just like every other bank in the corner? And you don't have to do something crazy like, paint the walls every day, maybe. But what can you do to be different? That's one. I think two, Ken, how can you not forget that I'm your customer? I've been banking with Bank X, hope that's not like a real brand, Bank X for 20 years, 10 years. Can you send me something else in a statement? Send me a pack of cookies to congratulate my 5-year anniversary. So thank the existing customers. And three, can you make it easy to work with you? Now, put security first and foremost, please. You got to authenticate me when I call in. But can you make it as easy as possible to work with me once you've verified who I am?
Absolutely. I find how businesses greet customers, especially repeat customers, trying to address them by name is so important. And you've got a nice Facebook effort every Sunday night now, talking to your community and taking questions. How is that going, and what are some of the topics that you've addressed in your Facebook program on Sundays?
Yeah, absolutely. Every Sunday evening, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, facebook.com/Ramon Ray, RAMONRAY. You can see me, and it's live. And I think the reason I did that, Ken, because I wanted to build engagement. I wanted to build rapport with my own community. Listen, we're asked questions, Ramon, how do you build a personal brand? How do you start a personal brand? One question last evening, Ken, was a guy who was kind of depressed and down because he wasn't meeting his goals. I don't have all the answers. I have issues, but I figured I can take Ken's hand, Ken can take my hand, and the idea we can help each other. And yeah, I've been in business for over 20 years. So I think, as you know, there's people who are coming up learning video, right? You may not know everything, but Ken can help people. I can help people. We have an obligation, those of us who've gone further in the journey, to look back and help people who are beginning their journeys.
Absolutely. We're all learning as we go, especially as we're all trying to learn how to utilize new technology effectively. So many new things didn't exist certainly from the time I started my career. We didn't even have email when I started. I'll date myself that way. But tell us a little bit about at the end of the year, what has been a highlight for you this year, and what are you thinking, what are some of the highlights you see for 2019?
Yeah. And I'll answer that question in reverse, Ken. I just came from a meeting just a few minutes ago as we're taping this with a network of people where we're thinking, how can we work together for 2019 and boost our businesses, because we all produce events. So I'm about 2019 very specific. I'm not trying to conquer the whole world in 2019. I just want to do a bit better and a bit smarter than I've done this year. 2018, I think I learned the power of working farther in advance. Sounds like a simple thing, but that's my takeaway. If I'm doing something in October, I can hit up Ken in January and keep poking him, reminding me, because my priority is not Ken's priority. But I can make it your priority, as it were, if I'm reminding. Ken's eventually going to say, okay, assuming Ken knows, likes, and trusts me, he's going to say, Ramon, thank you for reminding me. I'd love to work with you.
And Ramon, tell us a little bit about, I know you've got your Smart Hustle Conference again scheduled well in advance next November. Tell us a little bit about what you got planned for next year.
Absolutely. If you're looking for a great event that's fun, where we give away brand new computers, where you learn, you laugh, you network with other people, come to the Smart Hustle Conference. It'll be our 14th conference, smarthustle.com/conference. Next, in fact, it was November this year, but it's going to be December next year and 2019. And come on by, smarthustle.com/conference. And if you say you're a friend of Ken's, I will give you something special. Serious.
Okay, you are so high energy, Raymond. It's great to visit and chat a little bit today, and we wish you and your family the best wishes for the holiday season and for going into 2019.
Absolutely.
Great to talk with you. This is Ken Kraetzer for CBSI Talking Business, again from New York City.